Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav, and today we are going to start Katalon Studio. So in this series we are going to learn the entire Katalon Studio, and this is going to be very easy and very interesting. I will start from scratch and we will go up step by step. So do not worry if you are a complete beginner, if you have never worked with Katalon Studio, or if you have never worked with any automation tool. This is going to be very easy. I will teach you everything with demos, with hands-on, and you can follow with along with me, and whenever you have any issues you can let me know. So first let us see the topics. So we will start with the introduction to Katalon Studio. We will see what it is and why you should use it. We will then go to the download and setup of Katalon Studio, and we will start Katalon Studio, and then we will see the features and functionality of the tool and the platforms. And then we will start our automation testing. We will see a demo how you can use Katalon Studio to very quickly and easily create a web UI automation test, and then we will see the different test creation modes in Katalon Studio. So in Katalon Studio you can create a test just by recording, then we have a manual mode, and then we also have a scripting mode. Although it is you will not have to go to the scripting mode, but still we will see how we can see or how we can use all these different modes in Katalon Studio. Okay, then we will learn what are test cases, how do we create test cases, what are test suites and test suite collections in Katalon Studio. Then we will see the logs and reporting part. So in Katalon Studio you can see the logs, you can also create reports in different formats. Then we will see what are custom keywords and how can we create custom keywords in Katalon Studio. So whenever you have a requirement, you have some very custom scenario that you want to automate and you are not able to find inbuilt keywords for that, we have the option to script and create custom keywords. Then we will see execution environments, which are also called as profiles in Katalon Studio. So whenever you have to do testing in different testing environments and you don't want to do any changes in your script, you don't want to go and do any manual changes in the setup and in your test scenarios, how we can handle that. So all that we will see. Then we will see the Katalon Recorder, which is a browser extension, and then we will go to the variables part and we will see the different types of variables available in Katalon Studio and how we can use each of them. Okay, then we will move to data driven testing. This is going to be very interesting. We will see how we can uh, arrange our data in external files like Excel files or CSV files. Even in data in a database we can put our data, and then how we can use this data to manage and drive our testing. Then we will see what are checkpoints and how can we create checkpoints in Katalon Studio, and then we will go to the command line. So this is going to be very important. We will see how we can run our tests, our suites and our collections using command line, and that will also be very useful when we have to do any CI/CD integration with our test scenarios. Okay, then we will see failure handling. So what happens when a test step or a test fails? How do you handle the failure? What things you want to do after a failure happens? All that we will learn here. And then we will see listeners and setup and tear down. So listeners and setup and tear down in Katalon Studio allows us to manage what should be done before a test or before a suite, and what should be done after a test case or after a test suite. So in case you want to do any setup, you want to arrange data, you want to clean up something, all that you can do as setup and tear down for a test case or a test suite. Okay, then we will also go and learn the self-healing part. So self-healing is, suppose you have created your test and everything is ready and you are running it, everything goes fine, but maybe let's say one day something changes in your application, some object element properties changes. So in that case we have a feature called self-healing, which will detect these changes and based on some other properties will still find the object and continue your test, will not fail your test, and will give you a report that there was some changes and do you want to change your object properties according to that or not. So this is very interesting. We will learn that, and then we will see how do we debug and troubleshoot. So whenever you face any issues, whenever you face any failure, or if anything is not running fine, we will learn how we will debug the issue, how we will find out what is the issue, and then how we will troubleshoot it. So this is going to be very interesting. Then we will see how we can handle frames. So if your application, your web application has frames, how can we handle that? We also have an option for visual validation. So let's say we have already tested the functionality and we also want to test the look and feel of our web page or of our web application. So let's say checking that the colors have not changed, the pixels have not changed, the position of the objects or elements have not changed, the size, shape, etc. All that also we can check using visual validation. Okay, and then finally we will see how we can integrate our project with source code management like Git, and all this we will learn step by step. And as we go through these sessions, there may be some more things that I will tell you, and maybe some more topics that I will add in between. Also, as we go through the hands-on and demos, I will show you what are the best practices, and also I will tell you what are the mistakes I had done in the past, and you should not repeat the same mistakes. So all that we will cover here. And also check the description of this video. You may find links for quiz and some other details. So if you find a quiz there, do take the quiz, and in the comment section let me know your score. And whenever you face any issues, you can also let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's get started, and let us first start with the basic introduction to Katalon Studio. So let me very quickly first show you. You can just go to Katalon Studio website. So here you can see this is Katalon Studio. You can go here, and here you can see the website. So here you can see the high level features and all the things you can do. So it is mostly a codeless automation tool, although we have option for scripting, and you can see the different options here. So all this you can find here on the website. I will also show you the documentation part very quickly. So you can see we have products here, solutions and resources. All this is here. Okay, so Katalon Studio, we will see what is Katalon Studio, why do we want to use it, and what all we can do with Katalon Studio. So Katalon Studio is a platform, is a tool for doing automated testing of our software. Okay, so whenever you have to do automation testing, we can use this tool. And here the main advantage of using Katalon Studio is it is very easy and very fast, and we can very quickly create our automation test. So it is as soon as you download and set up Katalon Studio, you can start creating your automation tests. There is no setup required. You don't have to do a lot of setting up and boiler plate code and all those things. You don't have to do anything. You can just do a recording and you can start automating your test. You can start creating your test, and that we will see in a moment. So it is very easy, very fast. The learning curve is very less, and you can do very quick automation using Katalon Studio. Okay, so the platforms that you can use it for, we can do web testing. So any of your browser UI web testing you can do with it. API testing is also there, so you can use it for API testing, mobile testing, and then desktop app testing as well. Okay, so you can cover all these platforms using Katalon Studio, although there are options to also query the database. So if you want to very quickly check something in the database, even that is there. And then we also have option for BDD testing, that is behavior driven testing using feature files. That option is also there, that I will tell you in the later sessions. So that also we can do with Katalon Studio. So in all, it is all in one automation tool. We can cover all these platforms with Katalon Studio. And then if we talk about the very high level features, it is very easy to learn. So in a moment we will see that as soon as you start Katalon Studio, you can very quickly start creating your automation tests. And in case you also want to do any kind of scripting, we can use Groovy for scripting. Okay, so we have a recorder, inbuilt recorder in Katalon Studio, that we can use to just record our test scenarios, and we will have the entire test scripts created. Then we have a lot of options for reporting and debugging. There are different formats of reporting we can use in Katalon Studio. And whenever you want to integrate your test project or your test executions with any CI/CD tools or pipelines, maybe if you're using Jenkins or Azure or GitHub Actions, Circle CI, any CI/CD tool, it can be integrated, or it can be very easily set up with integrated with any of these CI/CD tools. Okay, and then whenever you have to do cross browser or cross platform testing, even that is there. So if you want to use different browsers, or in mobile testing, if you want to do iOS, Android testing, all that is supported. And then data driven testing is there, then BDD support is also there. So we have all these options in Katalon Studio. Okay, so this was a very quick introduction, and as we use the tool and as we go through different scenarios and features, you will learn more and more about the platform. Okay, so let's now go to the download and setup part. So here we will see what are the prerequisites, what are all the things you should need before using Katalon Studio, the hardware software configuration, and then we will finally do the setup of Katalon Studio. Okay, so this is the link that you can check for the system requirements. Okay, and let me take you there and show you. So here you can see the system requirements here, and the reason I'm showing you this page is because you can check at your time what are the latest requirements. So here you can see Katalon Studio and Katalon Runtime Engine. So Katalon Studio is what we are going to use. This is the GUI application that we will use to create and debug and run our test cases, and then we have Katalon Runtime Engine. So this is the part that we will use when we will do command line runs. So for doing command line runs, we will have to get Katalon Runtime Engine. But for now, let us focus on Katalon Studio. Okay, so here you can see for different operating systems, what are the OS supported. So for Windows, from Windows 7, 8, 10, 11 to Windows Server 2016, 2019, 2022, all this is supported. For Mac OS, all these are supported. For Linux, then you can see the CPU. You should have minimum 2 gigahertz or faster 64-bit processor, and then memory, there should be at least 4 GB of available RAM. Okay, so recommended is 8 GB, but 4 GB should be enough. And the hard disk space that we should need is at least 1 GB is recommended, and basically this will depend on the project we are creating. So depending on the uh, size of our project, we will need the space, but it is recommended that you should have at least 1 GB of available hard disk space. Okay, and these are the supported browsers. You can see all these browsers are supported. Then mobile operating system, all these Android and iOS uh, OS are supported. Okay, and if you have to do desktop application testing, then all these are supported. Okay, so you can check this page, and after this, let us go to the steps. So first we will go to the Katalon website, that is katalon.com. So for now, I am doing this on Windows, and the steps are going to remain same for Mac as well. If there will be any differences, I will let you know. So let us go to Katalon website, and here it is, katalon.com. Okay, now here we will first have to create an account, or you can also download first and then create an account. Both ways will work. So let's first create an account. If you don't have an account, you can go to sign up and log in. So here you can see we have login option. Click here and it will take you to the login page. And then in case you do not have an account, you can go to this sign up and then very quickly create an account using your email. You can create an account, and once you have created, you can just go to login, and here you can also continue with Google, or you can also log in with your GitHub. Let me continue with email, and here you can add your email and password that you have created and then log in. So I will very quickly log in here, and you will get a 30 days complete trial with all the features, and you can use it and you can get all the features. Let me directly go to the downloads page. I have already logged in, so I should be able to download Katalon Studio. So let me just go to here. Okay, and I will click on download. So this is our next step. Click on download. So I will go here, and this will take me to this download page. Okay, now here you can see we can try the full version for 30 days, and here we have option for Katalon Studio and also for Katalon Studio Enterprise. Okay, so here, as we have a trial, we should be able to get Katalon Studio Enterprise, and you can see it will detect our operating system. So otherwise you can change it from here, and then here you can select the version as well. We will go with the latest one. Okay, and you can click on download. Okay, and it will very quickly to the download, you can see this is done, almost done. So you can then go to the downloads folder, and here we have Katalon Studio set up here. Now in case you are on Mac, you can again, you will go to the same link for Katalon Studio, and you will go to the download studio, and here you will get your version for your Mac OS. So if you are using the Intel chip or the Apple Silicon chip, accordingly you can download from here, and this will start the download. And let me just save it, and you can see it is getting downloaded here. Okay, and here you can see this is going to be a DMG file that you can use to start Katalon Studio. Okay, so for now let us move back and go to the next step. So we have already done step number 4, where we have to download Katalon Studio. Now Katalon runtime engine is something we will need when we when we start the command line runs. So if you want, you can also keep it ready, although we can skip it for now and we will download it when we come to the command line topics. Okay, so we have done step number 4, and now after this, now if it is a zip folder, you can unzip, and then you can uh, keep the unzipped folder anywhere on your system. If we see here, in our case it is a setup, so we will have to run the setup here, and you can see here when you go to your web page where you have downloaded, it is also showing us the step. So here you can see download and open this file, and then we can install and launch, and then once it is started we will log in. You can use the same account that you have used to log in and sign up on Katalon Studio website. And similarly, if I go to the Mac uh, browser where I have downloaded Katalon Studio, here you can see we have the steps according to Mac. So we have to open the katalonstudio.dmg file, and then we have to put this DMG and the Katalon Studio. We have to drag and drop to our applications folder, and then again we can use it to start, and then after it is started we will log in with our Katalon account. Okay, so this is what we have to do. So let me just go to our Windows system now, and here is our Katalon setup. Double click it and it will start the setup of Katalon Studio. So you can see it is downloading and doing the setup. Also here it is going to this Katalon Studio Community Hub. So this can take some time based on your internet speed. And meanwhile, as it is getting done on Windows, I will check on my Mac system as well. So I will go to the downloads folder and double click the DMG file, and you can see here I will drag and drop it to my applications folder, and then it should be there in my applications folder, and then I should be able to start it. Or I can also press command plus space on my keyboard to bring up Spotlight search, and here if I start typing Katalon Studio, you can see I'm getting this option Katalon Studio. So you can, if I go to my applications folder and search for Katalon Studio, this is the one I have downloaded now, and this will start Katalon Studio on Mac. And here you can see on Windows it is installing. So it is starting on Mac, and here it will ask us to log in. So you can select login from browser, or if you have a license you can use license server or offline license. So let us just wait on Windows as well. And I'm showing you these both options on Windows and Mac because the setup and starting part may be a little different. In Mac, on Mac we use DMG, and here we use the setup file. But otherwise, once you have got Katalon Studio ready, we will have most of the steps same, and so we can just continue on one of the operating systems. Okay, so now it is getting started on Windows. So it can take some time for the first time to start. Okay, so you can see it is starting and now it is asking us to log in. So I will click on login from browser. Here it will ask us for our login details. So based on whatever options you have used for login while creating the account, you can use it. So in my case, I'm going to use the email and password and login. And once you log in, you will see Katalon Studio has started and you will see the start page here. Okay. And in a moment, I will tell you about the different sections and features. So it will be very easy. And here we have done our step 2, start Katalon Studio. Now see these two things, step number 5 and 6, where we are unzipping the folder and then using katalon.exe to start. So you can see if you are having katalon.exe, you can use that. Otherwise, if you are just having the setup, you can do the setup. And after that, whenever you want, you can use Katalon file. So whenever you go to your Windows and search for Katalon, you should get this app and you can use it to start Katalon Studio. Okay, so this will be depend on the way you have downloaded and started. And earlier we always had this zip folder that we used to download and unzip, and then there was a katalon.exe file inside that folder that we used to start Katalon Studio. But few things have changed. In fact, if we talk about the GUI and other things, many things have changed. I started using Katalon Studio way back in 2017, and from there till now a lot of things have changed. So this will be a great session that we will cover all the changes as well and all the new things and the new features. And here we have already checked that Katalon Studio is started. Okay, so this was the download and setup part. We are able to start Katalon Studio and we are able to see Katalon Studio is running on our system. We have already logged in. You can see here we get a start page and you can see a lot of links are here, a lot of documentation is also here. And if you go to the help icon, the help menu at the top, you can see here we have about, start page, studio walkthrough. If you want to do a walkthrough of the studio with the help of steps, you can use this. We have a lot of tutorials here for different platforms, UI, web services, mobile, desktop. And if you want to go to the documentation page, you can go from here. You can go to the Katalon Academy directly from here. You can report issue and then check for updates. So this is the start page. If I close this start page, and if you want to see it, you can again go to help and go to start page. Okay, and you can see it comes here. Also, if you want to do a walkthrough, you can go to help and say studio walkthrough, and here it will ask you that you can see this is the walkthrough, and you can see create your first project, write your first test case. All this is here. So if I click here, create your first project, here you can see all the steps here. You can see it is showing me how to do it. Okay, and you can go here, and if you want to say show me how, if you want to see it, you can click on show me how and it will start the walkthrough. So you have to click here new project. It will show you step by step what to do and everything will be shown here. Okay, so if you want, you can do this way as well. And with this we are able to start Katalon Studio. Now, in the next session, I will show you the GUI. We will explore the GUI. We will see I will give you a tour of the features and the high level tools and the options. So you will be ready to work with Katalon Studio. I hope this was useful. I will see you in the next session of Katalon Studio. Thank you for watching and never stop learning.